What's up, Mystic Manifesting family? Nick with Mystic Manifesting here. And it's a Monday night live versus Monday morning. Had a few things to get in order, but when's that ever not the story, right? There's always something going on. But like I wrote in the community post for those of you who saw it, doesn't matter when, but as long as it happens, it happens. So everything is always working out in your favor. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer to get to, but it always happens. So, I knew we were going to be doing a live today. Those of you who had faith in me, thank you for knowing that I will be going live today. But here I am. So it's a late night one, so we might get some more viewers than usual, less viewers than usual, or people we usually don't see. So if you're new, welcome in. If this is one of the first lives, if you're one of the new subscribers, if you guys have been around for a while, welcome back. And if you're one of the people who don't ever really see me during the morning lives, welcome. So I'll lead off with some thank yous to the member. We have one of our members of the channel, Ratasha. So thank you. Membership videos are up. If you guys are not seeing the membership videos, they're up there. Let me know. I know that we had 2 members, and I heard that they weren't being circulated. So let me know if you're not seeing the membership videos. I've got 4 up now, and I'll have 6 up this week, possibly 7. But I'm going to have 1 rolling out each week. Something new, little housekeeping that we'll talk about is I'm going to be doing lives on Saturdays. So the lives on Saturday, I'm going to aim to have them in the morning, calling them the Saturday sermons, where it's like I take, because you guys know I learned a lot of this stuff from Neville and Joseph Murphy and Florence, and even this other book that I read, which was James Allen. There was a decent amount of Bible quotes in there too, and I've read the Bible before, so I want to go through the Bible and talk about like sermons based on what I've read, what's in there, and the essence of manifestation and how it relates to the Bible. I thought it would be unique. It's something I've wanted to do for a while, and I made a promise to God that I'd start this channel if things worked out in my favor, and sure enough, they did. And I made another promise that I would switch it over more to like that religious content without being too overly religious. I want to be welcoming because I've got people and friends of all different religions and faiths and everything. So I want everyone to feel welcome there. But if you're not, that's going to be something. It's like a little bonus type content. So another live per week. And like I said, the membership channel will have extra videos. If you guys are not in the Discord and you want to be, the link will be down below. It's in every video. I always say that. So Discord's pretty cool. We do at least once a month have a members only group meditation where we all kind of list off our intentions and we spend 2 to 3 minutes on each other's intentions depending on the size of the crowd in there. But we've seen some amazing results with that. Even one personally for me, I usually don't put requests in, but I was having a hard time with my shoulder and stuff. And now, I've got full range of motion. I'm good to go. It was actually the day before I was supposed to go to a chiropractor. I was like, you know what, guys, could we just do a group meditation for me at the end? And we threw it in there. And, that effect, I felt it. I felt the feeling of strength and agility and like a more freed up shoulder. Next thing you know, the next day I was telling Lily, I'm like, I don't even think I need to go to the chiropractor. I think I'll be good. But I went anyway. That's been helping too. So, I'm not saying ignore doctors or anything because doctors can be helpful, and I'm going to one right now for the remainder. And it's actually wound up being a bridge to something better. So I'm finding some things that actually help me in the gym and help me further myself to my goals. So again, that's going to kind of segue us into our topic today of becoming the person who has everything that you desire. We're shifting into that reality. Maybe I should have called this shifting into the reality, but it's kind of a theme and a trend that I'm sticking with, trying to keep everything simple and not overcomplicate manifesting, because a lot of times myself and I've seen plenty of other coaches we'll overcomplicate it. I feel like at times because there's so much stuff to get into. People ask me a question on this or that, and I'll take you guys around the manifesting world, because I've experimented with every single affirmations, robotic affirming, scripting, visualization, meditations, all that stuff. At the end of the day, it's just you becoming the person who has the confidence to step forward and be the person who has that desire. And though it's not here right now in the moment, you start acting and feeling like it is. and the world is going to bring it to you. God will always bring you back to your desire of whatever you're desiring. You know, once you put it out there and you have that bold, brazen impotence that nothing's going to stop me, I believe it's going to happen, I have this faith, and you walk forward with it, you're going to get your desires. So just having the confidence to step into it could be a difficult thing. And this is the thing I've told my clients, and I've told you guys on the channel so much, and I repeatedly put it out there. Focus on yourselves. The whole thing is a self-love journey. We start this with a goal or an aim, and the circumstances we're in, they seem like curses, but curses are often our greatest blessing. You know, change the way you look at things, and the things you look at change. When you change your focus on these things and change how you see them, it's like, no, this is actually a blessing. This bad thing has led me to learning to love myself, learning to change who I am for the better, not for the worse, because we can change ourselves for the worse to, you know, try and fit in with a certain crowd. Like, well, I want to be part of this friend group, or I want to have this relationship. And it's like you identify like the negative characteristics and you try to line up and be like that person. What I'm talking about is identifying and lining yourself up with the positive aspects that make you magnetic, not chasing that person, that circumstance, that job, that opportunity. You're not changing to fit in with that. You're changing to be a person who's magnetized and pulling that stuff in. Those people, those circumstances, opportunities, whatever it is, to change them all up. I'm gonna take a sip of coffee and I'll light the cigar and we'll get into talking. Lizzie Goblet, my guy, what's up? Great message too. Everybody love everybody. You know, everyone is you pushed out. So when you're putting that love out there, that hey, I see only the good in you. So I've called it before, seeing people through the eyes of God, not through the eyes of man. We're so focused on this is a problem, that's a problem, this and that, and you're picking. I just see the comment right now. It's like Manifesting Monday is finally here, and you two always come together. That's why I think it's the same guy. But either way, I love it. I love to see both the name Manifesting Mandrill. What's up, brother? And yes, Manifesting Monday is finally here. A little bit late, but always on time. So yeah, that's just you treat everyone the way that you want to be treated, like you said. Or like you said, everyone loves everyone. You treat other people the way you want to be treated, including yourself. You know, they call it the golden rule, but oftentimes we leave ourselves out of that golden rule. Treat yourself how you want to be treated, because you're setting the example for the rest of the world, how to treat you, how to view you, and how to act around you. So that, again, sticks to everyone as you pushed out. Mama Mystic, what's up? Welcome in. Happy Monday. So today we're going to start out with a Chilling Moose, one of the first cigars that I ever had. Now, if YouTube wants to ban me, shadow ban me, whatever they've been doing lately, like I said, if you're a member of the channel, there's videos out. Let me know if you can't see them. Send me an email. If you're new, look around. Send me an email if you can't find them. But there's membership videos out. I don't know why they're not alerting people, but I'm not going to change who I am. So I'm going to tell you, this is the cigar I'm smoking. Very good one. One of the first ones I ever smoked. And the lesson to it is back to the basics. It's like, wow, very basic, nothing special, good smoke cigar. Let's get back to that. Let's get back to the core essence of manifesting. So many times we get pulled off, we go in different directions, settling down what the truth is to all this stuff. And it's simply changing who you are or how you see yourself in relation to said desire. So let me light this and we'll get to talking. If you guys got questions, leave them below. And as always, I've tried to be a little bit organized. I got some notes here, and I want to start off. And it's funny too, because I kind of had the idea we're going to go back to the basics on, just talking about changing who you are and, shifting that reality to being the person you want to be and having what you want to have. Reverend Ike came on my YouTube playlist out of nowhere. I forgot I was logged into Mystic. I usually don't listen to videos here. I listen to them over on Muscular Mystic if you guys want to watch other videos, they're over there. But when I was listening to him, it kind of, snapped me back to, yeah, this is actually what I was about to do the live on. So it's like, where your attention goes, energy flows. That's one of his quotes. It's a great one. It's funny. I've got a friend who's He's a preacher, and he's got that quote up in his office. So it's one of my favorite quotes. Whatever you're focused on, that's where your energy goes. You see something you don't want, and you sit there and you try to figure out how to change it, how to do something. What can I do externally to make this different? You're focused on that problem that you're perceiving. Again, change the way you look at things and things you look at change. You see a problem, you focus on the problem, and you focus on trying to find a solution. That finding a solution, the act of finding a solution, is implying that you still have a problem there. So this is, I'm giving you like a breakdown of what we all go through, but identifying the problem. Sometimes trying to figure out the problem. There are times in life you have to figure out a problem. There's like, you're in a situation, you have to figure it out. But I want you to build that deep confidence that I can figure this out no matter what's going on. I always know what to do. And even if you're not 100% confident on it, having that general confidence of like, look at the things. I always get free coffees, right? How many of us always get free coffees? How many of us always go like, oh, I always get the perfect parking spot? When you have that simple, because it's something that doesn't seem important and it seems possible, and your self-concept is, yeah, anybody, even me, can get this. Well, I want you to be even me, or even you can get this bigger thing, this bigger opportunity. So it's like an opportunity arises. I always win. I always win. I always get the opportunity. People always choose me. So it's just as small as the parking spaces. Again, what I'm saying, size doesn't matter. Ladies, remember that. Size doesn't matter. As I fucking put a cigar in my mouth. Lizzie and Mandrill, you guys will get a kick out of that. I know it. But anyway, this example, and I've talked about this before, it's actually an old sheet. I was doing some housekeeping, some cleaning. You guys can't tell because the office still looks like shit. But there's an example of King Saul in the Bible. Now, this is Old Testament stuff. I like to talk more New Testament and like the teachings of Jesus and all that. And I'm not going to move too much into this because it's not Sermon Saturday. But we heard a live where I know it was a live. I talked about this before, but they call it. I thought about it because Neville mentioned this once. He goes, "Mad like Saul." So the premise of this Bible story is Saul becomes so obsessed by identifying David as his enemy because he saw people respected him. Instead of looking at it as, wow, someone who I picked is just as respected as me, if not more, and he has a great future and I support him, he identified him as a competitor and a threat and someone who he has to stop. So he spends all his effort and he keeps looking for problems, trying to destroy him. And no matter how many breaks he got, where David would give him a break or God would give him a break or something like that, he would still go back and he would, in the moment, be cool, calm, and collected, but then go back to harping on whatever he's obsessed about. That I can't let go of this. I can't let go of it. And he chased David to the ends of the earth trying to kill him. And eventually he succumbed to his own madness. The people turned against him. They turned to David. He was just as equally respected, but his fear of him being respected more caused him to take actions to make people respect him less. Oftentimes that's what it is. We cause people to treat us differently because of the actions we're taking, because of the assumptions that we've already done. So you're unconsciously taking inspired 3D action contradictory to your desire when you are focused on the wrong thing. When you are not changing the way you see things, focusing on the way that you don't want to see things, becoming the person who's trying to solve that problem, implying there's still a problem there, chasing down this desire as if it's a problem, fighting with it in the 3D, and then causing it to spiral out and taking action that cause you to not be desired or wanted. Instead, I want to borrow another quote from the Bible. And it is, I'm looking at it right now because I'm horrible. You guys know me. I'm horrible at quoting, and it's a negative assumption to say, but it's something that I want to make sure I get right because I do get a lot of quotes misquoted at times. But this one is, now faith is confidence in what is hoped for and assurance about what we do not yet see. So having faith in something before it happens, that's the state I want to be in, versus mad like Saul and focused on the negative. Having faith is the confidence in what we hope for and the assurance about what we do not have. And that's from Hebrews 11:1. So if you guys want to look that one up, you could. But like I said, I'm not turning it all into my sermon right now. That will be on Saturdays. But there's that Bible quote. I like it a lot because it's the opposite of being obsessed with something negatively. It's almost taking that blind faith step. And I use this as an example with a client the other day. You know, if you watch the old Indiana Jones movies where he's going across the bridge is invisible and he knows it's there. He throws the sand there. You can still see it's there. It's like he's still nervous to take that first step. We know there's a bridge, but it might not be like that clear. It's kind of foggy. It's just like the bridge of events in life. It's like, I think if I follow this path, things are going to unfold the right way. Versus confidently, that was the key word in this, the confidence of if I continue on this path and I keep focusing on who I am and what I want to do, the path is going to unfold the right way, no matter how ugly it looks. Not all bridges are beautiful and not all bridges are put together perfectly, but they serve their purpose. And having the faith that you're going to get across it and what's on the other side is exactly what you want, you'll be fine. That's the faith we want to have. But now, you know your quotes 100%. Thank you, Glizzy. I appreciate you, brother. But now let me say this too. Like, so I'm giving you the generalized things, and now everyone always says go a little bit deeper, explain the stuff a little bit more. So I'm trying to think of a good one. Like, there's another example. I'll give you another metaphor real quick. And this one isn't mine. I've heard a lot of people say this one. So I'm not going to claim any credit for it, but I think it's great. And it kind of applies the other day. So I was telling you guys, I went to this chiropractor just, for shits and giggles. Wound up helping, right? And me and Lily go there together. We drive home. We're driving back here. And on the way home, she has this assumption that she always beats me back to the house. I'm looking at the same GPS as her. I take a wrong turn. Like, even though I know how to get home, I see the turn. Whatever reason, like, I just didn't get off in the lane. I don't know. I don't get off, but the GPS reroutes. It shows you go this way. And then even if this wasn't this time, but other times I've done this, you miss the next turn. Or you go that way and then you do the wrong thing there because you're trying to, like, think you know better than a GPS. No matter how many wrong turns you take on a GPS, it will always find the way back home or to your destination. There's always another way to get there. There's never anything that's impossible. And that's something I learned in the trades. Don't ever say that you can't do something, because everything in the trades that was ever built or put together or fixed has been fixed, built, or put together by somebody who was no smarter than you. Now apply it to manifestation, apply it to all this stuff. There's nothing out there that can't be done, and there's no problem that it cannot be undone. But there's a faith that comes into play there, that you have to focus on who it is that's a great fixer, who can fix things, who can finish the race, who can get there. And it comes from confidence. And what makes you confident is different to everyone. The practical advice to this. I have a 30-minute video on it. I believe it's on the membership channel. But a brief recap of it, maybe in 30 seconds versus 30 minutes, is do things that make you feel like the person who can solve the problem, like the person who can manifest those particular things. And to everyone, it's something different. Like I said, I like to wear nice clothes and watches at times, right? That's not going to change it for everyone. And sometimes it won't even change it for me. It's like, but when you feel good, when you look good, you feel good, right? The trick is to feel good. So what makes you feel good? Going to the gym makes me feel good, but it's because it's something that I've always strove for, worked towards, and whenever I see a direct result there, it boosted my confidence. That applies for someone like me who came from being the fat kid, or like certain friends of mine came from being the skinny kids. When they put on muscle, when they get cut up, when they get leaned out, that creates a sense of accomplishment and pride for them, because they're no longer that old version of themselves, and they could see that direct result. That's a perfect way where you could see a direct change. For some people, it might not make a difference. What if you've always been in shape? I've known guys, they've been in shape since we were in grammar school till this age. Like, they've looked good since we were kids, and they look good when they got older. Like, you stayed in good shape. Like, I remember the one guy I grew up with, he was like showing off. He had a six-pack, and I was a little fat kid, and it's like, to him, going to the gym and getting in better shape than he is now is not going to really change his self-concept. But what can change from him? He's like, he came from money, came from good genetics and good physique and everything. Where's somewhere that he failed at? I don't really know like that deep on what his demons were, and it doesn't really matter. But everyone's got something that bothers them. Finding something that caused you to fail before and accomplishing that gives you more of a chance to feel like you've changed, which creates confidence, which creates boldness, which creates I can have this desire and I don't see any reason I can't. So take for example, look, the office isn't that clean. The rest of the house is really clean. And it took, SP busting my balls about it, like, oh, the house isn't clean, this and that. But when I finally cleaned it, when I have an organized space, and from growing up in a house where it wasn't really that organized, and there was a lot of messes and stuff like that. So when I grew up and I realized it's like, oh, this is how it should be, and I was more than capable, and I put it together. That little victory is enough to create some confidence in me that, okay, yeah, I can, accomplish things. I can put shit in order, and I'm an organized individual just from cleaning the house. But someone who grew up in a very neat and tidy house and knows how to do it, and it's not really a big deal, you always have a place for everything, and you don't have a scattered brain that goes with that. It's not a sense of confidence. Now, I know I'm not talking about anyone's desire right now. I'm simply giving you workable tools that can help you feel like a new person who is deserving of your manifestation. Yes, we're all deserving of it. And you can tell me, I deserve this. And I can tell you, yeah, you deserve it. But do you really believe it? Or are you just blowing smoke up my ass? Because you can blow smoke up my ass and I don't care. It's going to come right out like a cigar smoke. The hole wasn't big enough. But anyway, no, to be serious though, you can tell me that you're confident and I'll believe you. Honestly, I've been doing this now for 3 years. I could kind of see through it, but sometimes I won't. Some people are really good actors, You're convincing me, but deep down, you don't feel any different. So what is something that you've always struggled with? Go back and face that. It has nothing to do with manifesting your specific person. It has nothing to do with getting that job. It has nothing to do with making more money. But by going forth and facing it, you've now defeated a demon from your past that's going to add more confidence to you. And with that confidence, nothing else is going to bother you. So see, there's a reason to all the stuff I tell you. There's a reason to doing many manifestations. Stuff where you just write down, you believe it will happen, you visualize it a few times, and you let go and let God, right? Let it happen. There's a reason I give you all these tools. I've gone through the trials and fires of tribulation in this stuff, and I've struggled with things and felt things were impossible. So when I went through it, I developed these techniques. And then now I look and I see other coaches out here. It's like coaches who weren't around when I was learning all this stuff. They're saying the same thing. It's like, okay, why are they saying it? A lot of times, Nan, what's up? Good to see you. I'm doing good. Hope you're doing good too. Nan's a perfect example of someone who would tell me, like, oh, what are the practical, workable examples in manifesting? And that's what I'm giving you right now. The reason I tell you guys to do stuff, don't just blow it off. Oh, many manifestations. Say some affirmations here and there. Do a visualization. Sometimes less is more, I visualize right before bed on a desire I want. I say a few affirmations, but the general affirmations, like for me, I don't sit there and affirm all day. I've never been a big affirmation guy, but I've done robotic affirming on certain things because I wanted to prove it worked. I've done strictly affirmations. I've done the audio tapes. I've done all the same stuff that you guys have done, and it worked. But I had to find ways to make it work for me because, like I said, it doesn't always, what works for me doesn't always work for you. But the one thing I realized is less is more. When I was younger working out, you work out 7 days a week for as many hours as you can till failure. But if I don't give it any rest time, I'm still stuck in believing that this is never going to work. Like, that where am I going to make my gains? It's like I'm doing all this work and I'm not getting gains. You're sitting there affirming from sun up to sun down and you're not seeing any results. You're not giving your mind time to recover. You're not giving your subconscious time to become impressed and let it just go on its own. Because you know what? When I sleep and I dream my affirmations. They play in my head. When I go throughout the day, something pops up that seems like a problem, like I'm running late for work. It's all working out in my favor. Ooh, I wonder what can happen. And it's like, and I start running through things like that. Something pops up in the day that's like today, this morning, I was supposed to have a meeting early in the morning. It didn't happen. Like I was waiting 3-4 hours. I make a phone call and it's like, damn, now everything's going to get pushed back. I don't know about the live. You know what? Everything is working out in my favor. Does it mean that the live won't happen? No, it's going to happen. And what happens if the live doesn't happen today? It will happen tomorrow. And guess what? Maybe there will be some new subscribers who needed to hear this message. Maybe it's people who always want to see me live, but they can't see me live. But in the time I go live, it works for them. and it will be a great, cool, new interaction. When you start, this is what I mean when I say change the way you look at things. Something perceived as a problem, start telling it to yourself as a solution. Spin everything that goes through your mind that makes you feel bad or negative. How is it a solution? How is this fun? How is this something new? Even though after our group meditation, my shoulder felt better, my back felt better, I didn't feel like I needed to go to a chiropractor. And me and Lily going there together, the timing didn't line up and stuff. It's like, how did that, why would I go on this adventure then? But that's why I looked at it. I'm like, it's an adventure. Maybe I need it, maybe I don't. But hey, let's both just aim to get there at this time. If we both get there, hey, it's a new adventure. And if it fixes my back even more, great. If it doesn't, well, we tried it. It's something new. Thank you for the little emotes, guys. Whoever's sending them, those are awesome. I see didn't even know you could do that. It's got the 100 and the party one. So I appreciate you guys. Get some coffee. If you guys got any questions too, let me know. I'm on lecture mode right now, I guess. But giving you guys these examples without too many examples, because I can ramble off examples all day long. Trying to think like why I tell you guys these things. That's the part where it's like, I don't just say things because it's like, oh, this sounds good. Other coaches say this. I'm telling you what has worked for me. And I'm telling you the true core essence of this is to change yourself. Take a look at this from this point of view. And you might not want to hear it and it might make you angry, but trust me, when you follow through with it and the desire comes in, you're going to realize, oh, what Nick was saying was true. Take your SP out of the equation. Take that set amount of money out of the equation. Take that desire out of the equation. Focus on the thing that you want. All right. So focusing on the thing that you want, SP, money, whatever. You see it, right? Take it out of the equation. Who's the person that has that? And if it went away, you're still that person. Who's the person who has that money? Well, the person who has more money, they carry themselves different. The person in a relationship carries himself or herself differently. And if it was to leave, you could get it back. It's like rich people lose money, a lot of money. Look at use Dana White as an example. I saw this video the other day. He's playing blackjack at $400,000 per hand. That's over 3-4 times the average person's salary per hand. And a hand goes like that in blackjack. So he goes down. He's down, $1.2 million. And they're like, why are you doing this? He goes, because I'm insane. But he's having genuine fun. Like he's enjoying himself. Now I've seen videos of Dana White get angry, but he's having fun because even if he loses that 1.2 million or more, he's still a billionaire. He's not worried about it because even if he lost it and he really needed that money, he can make it back tomorrow. I'm going to put on a UFC event, but it doesn't have to just be a UFC event. When you carry yourself a certain way, I'm telling you that things change. So it's like, he wound up leaving 700,000 up. So he went he was down 1.2 million and he left with 2 million. So he made 700,000 or whatever. It was like whatever the profit was 700,000. So whatever that is, 1.9, I think. But it's who he is. He's someone who's not worried about money because whether he has it or he doesn't, he's still him. And the concept of who he is someone who's good with money, good with making money, and knows the money's always rolling into him. People who are good fighters, they know that they're always going to win. They don't have any reserves on anything. I talked about this with one of my friends getting ready for a bodybuilding show. We talked about, there's two stories to this actually. One's getting ready for a show, another one did a show. And one of the guys around who was, around for my buddy's training before his show, really got in his head. No matter how good the guy looked, I'm telling you, he looked good. He looked clean. He looked cut. He was ready. But the constant ball busting of you ain't ready, you ain't got this. Wait till you see these other guys. They're bigger than you. They're better than you. Now, granted, our friend's breaking his balls, but he goes, no, I know, I got it, and it's good. It's good to stoke the ego at times and push yourself to work harder. I knew from watching this as an outside perspective, I wasn't really his training partner. I trained with him for a few sessions before his show, but I saw what was happening. I'm like, he's not going to be able to, he was broken before he started. You have to be hyping yourself up before you go that you're already a winner. So our other friend, he's Now, eyes wide open to this manifesting thing. And I told him, and you could see it in his posts, you could see it in his videos, how he carries himself, how he walks, and how he carries himself in public. He already has a winner mentality. His first show, when he does it, he's going to place first. He's got everything going for him. And if he keeps his mind right, he focuses on what he wants to do, there is no one stopping him because he is identified with a champion. Now, I've seen him, waver back and forth a little bit because, we circulate in the same group of friends and stuff like that. And gym guys are your brother, but, sometimes they break your balls. And it's all from a place of love, to make you do better. But I don't even joke about myself in a negative way. And there have been times I do joke about myself in a negative way, and I would see it directly relate. Shout out to Mitzi. Me and Mitzi talk every now and then. If you guys know her, she's been around since the beginning of the channel, and she said a big breakthrough, and I thought I'd share this with you too. A big breakthrough that she had from watching this channel was when I said I don't even joke about myself in a negative way, which I first heard from Reverend Ike. I'm like, you know what? There's a truth to this. When I was still doing like little independent films and acting and auditioning for stuff or writing stuff, whatever that character I was writing, whatever character I was auditioning for or playing, I would see certain ways, like in my personal life, reflect that character. The one character getting cheated on a thing was carrying myself like a guy who gets cheated on, played out. I had another character that was confident, cool, confident, successful, this and that. And I was writing that one. Never produced it or anything, but I was writing a character like that. Around the same time I launched Mystic. And my first few videos, boom, they exploded. They did well. I became a well-known YouTuber in this community. Maybe not the most subscribers, but I became that person. So, like Mitzi said, she goes, it always stuck with me. When Reverend Ike said it always stuck with me. Don't joke about myself negatively. Now I'll do it here and there, with the gym guys. Like we'll break each other's balls, send each other the pig emoji whenever we like they see one of our stories. Hey, we're out eating out tonight or whatever. Or going to Andy's ice cream, going to fucking Dunkin' Donuts. We'll put a pig emoji on his story or whatever, and it'll be happening back to us. But realistically, it's fine here and there, but the more repetitive again and again and again, you're hearing that, seeing that, becoming part of that, it becomes who you are. I can tell you, I was going through it too with, I went from 200, and, after the bodybuilding show, I went back up to 200, 205, and I went all the way up to now like 230. And I kept joking about, I'm a fat ass, this and that. And I was joking about it, eating about the same, but for some reason, like, the weight just started shooting up, climbing up. Then I suffered an injury where I couldn't train anymore. Things in my life started to happen to make sure I can fulfill that thing I keep talking about that I am. If I keep joking that I'm a fat ass, things are going to happen. An injury, your body's not breaking the food down fast enough, you're overeating, you wind up in a situation where you got no food and you got to resort to eating out. So it's like what I was focused on became my reality, even though it was just the back of the, off the peripheral of my vision and my consciousness that, hey, I'm just joking about this. It became my reality. So now how do I go back to it? I just talked with Lily about this the other night. I'm studying for my personal training exam now. I know it's been going on for like 2 months. I keep telling you guys, hey, I'm studying. I'm going to have it finished. I'm a slow reader, but, I started affirming I'm a slow reader because, so without even having to fix the problem, I'm a slow reader because I'm absorbing all the knowledge. The slower I read, the more I absorb. So that was a way I changed that story. It's something I told her. I'm like, I don't want to joke about each other, like, because we would break each other's balls too about, how we look from the gym and everything like that. Not so much me, but it's like she would break my balls. I'm like, don't even joke about me, I told the boys too. I'm like, I don't want to joke about it anymore because I'm on this mindset. Now, if it happens, because sometimes you can't always control what other people say. You could assume what they're going to say. I've got it in my mind that certain people are always going to say something to me, but you let it in one ear and out the other. That was one of my mom's favorite lines: in one ear, out the other. Don't give it any mind. Don't pay it any mind. So when you're in these certain situations, you focus on what you really want. You start like Arnold talked about this actually too when he was up for a movie, and he was coming from Mr. Olympia. They said you're supposed to be. I think they wanted him to be like 220 or something like that. And he was up to 260, and they were like, by this day, you're going to step on the scale and blah, blah, blah. He goes, so I started visualizing myself. And that was the part that always stood out to me, because I visualized myself as a very lean athlete. He goes, while doing, which this is the part where 3D action is applicable, more cardio consuming less, and higher reps in the gym. Those are 3D factors he can take on a realistic, workable, actionable thing that will cause him to lose the weight, but still seeing himself as a lean athlete is going to help cut the weight faster. And, the science to it is the mind is so strong that it will cause the body to change. Everyone's body is different. Some people burn fat faster. Some people store fat longer, but changing how you see yourself. I've seen this before too. I remember like when I wanted to be really lean before, I was focusing on being lean. What were some actionable steps I was doing? Going to the gym, doing my cardio in the morning, and doing higher reps. Those were the two things I was doing. A subconscious action kicked in. It became like an addiction to Red Bulls because my friend had introduced me to Red Bulls. But I wasn't really at my full Red Bull like fiending where I was going through a bunch of them a day. I was at maybe one a day. And around that time, I started just sweating a lot. Like I would be sitting down, drenched here. Stress factors at work kicked up. So when you're in that fight or flight, you're burning more calories by just your thoughts. Think about that again. Your thoughts are causing you to be so stressed. You're burning calories and you're sweating and having a physiological response. I've talked about this before. A physiological response to a thought is just a small indirect way or a small direct way showing that your thoughts influence your body. So I would be sitting there sweating and then I started taking the thought with it. I'm cutting weight just by sitting here. My body is cutting the weight naturally. And I dropped the weight so fucking fast. It was taking a while for me to gain weight, but when I started like joking around with the guys, like, I'm a fat fuck, I'm this, I'm that. Why would you joke about yourself like that? I've done it. And then I started the same meals, the same amount of calories I was consuming, started ballooning me up even more, like at a rapid pace. And then focusing on, okay, I need to get my workouts in. It's like, oh, my back hurts. And an injury kicks in. So factors will kick in to fuck you up to correlate with your negative self-talk. Do not speak negatively about yourself. The person who is confident in the best version of you would never say that stuff about themselves because that's not who they are. Every word and every thought spoken in secret will be brought out publicly. What is done in the dark will be brought to the light, as the great Johnny Cash once said. It's actually, I think it's in the Bible too, but I know it from Johnny Cash. But anyway, that's about what I have for my lecture today, guys. If you would like to ask any questions, I'm here. Let them rip. I got my cigar and half a cup of coffee left. The little Chili's mixer. What else? Let me see. Do I got anything else around here? Any other housekeeping things to bring up? Like I said, if you guys are not seeing the membership channel stuff, let me know. Send me an email. It's not going to be like, anything like where I'm like, I know, because I know this from other clients who've talked about like coaches and stuff trying to like message them and be like, oh, I'm trying to sell you coaching. No, I'm just saying, if you guys can't see it, I like the part of coaching. To me is like, that's just something that happens on the side. I want people to be able to see these videos. And for whatever reason, whether it's this in my hand or an assumption I have, I feel like I'm being shadow banned. So if you guys don't see the membership videos, send me an email. If you guys are having trouble getting into Discord, send me an email. I want to see more people in there. If you don't want to be part of it or you can't afford it, that's cool. But if you tried to get on and you wanted to sign up, let me know. Just because I'm curious about that stuff. I've been looking at everything from my end, but yeah, I'm going through some stuff right now, some housekeeping and organization in my own life. Finances and goals and stuff like that. Like for me, being a personal trainer, that was something I wanted to do when I was younger. And it has no impact on coaching here. It has no impact on any other goals I have in life right now. But it's like doing that will give me more confidence to feel that anything else is possible, because it's like you went back and defeated a demon hanging over your head or an albatross on your back, whatever other metaphor you want to say. That's something that had always bothered me. Okay, get it done. Whether you use the certificate or not, you did it. No one could. It's like Tony Soprano once told Christopher, you did it. You made a movie, and no one could ever take that away from you. And it's true. You take that certification, no one can take that away from you. You did it. You put in the work. You studied, and it was hard and grueling, and you didn't want to focus on it. And it's like, honestly, the thing that I'm training for, I think it's one of the easier ones. But it's like, it's one of the easier tests, but to each their own. to me, it's difficult because sitting still and sitting there reading and studying is hard to do. But I'm going to feel such a pride and accomplishment when it's done. And you guys are going to see there will be a video, it will be on Discord and all that stuff. So find something like that. It does not pertain to a specific person. It does not pertain to money. It doesn't pertain to the job or anything that you're maybe aiming for. It pertains to you becoming the person who can and will and does in your own mind and your own soul deserve that. When you feel you deserve something, you will get it. It doesn't matter. The whole world can be rooting for you, but if you don't feel worthy, it won't happen. Thank you, brother. Yes, I will continue. I keep saying about halfway through, but I mean, as soon as I'm done here, I'm printing off the rest of the book and printing out the book and continuing the studying, and hopefully in another Monday or two, you'll see the certificate printed and hanging up on one of the walls over here. But going through stuff and organizing your life too, that's a small little thing, but in doing that, you kind of recount, like, this is something I'm going through right now, like finding these old little like notes I had from other live streams and like tying them together right now helped me with this live stream. But going over them and looking at some of my old videos, editing stuff. If you guys are following me on TikTok too, you see I keep posting all these old videos that I've made a while back and stuff. It's a constant reminder of, you came a long fucking way. You might not feel good or confident right now, but keeping a journal of the manifestations you've done, doing many manifestations, or going back and just taking a day to give gratitude and thanks for what you have and thank God for what you have, and take a recount of your life, you're going to feel so much better, because it's just further reinforcement and affirmations towards who you are and how far you've come. In the moment, it might not look like much, but go back and take an account. Where are you now and where were you 5 years ago? Whether you knew about manifesting or not, whether you felt like you fucked it up, it is very rare someone progressively goes backwards in life. And those are the people who always look for the worst case scenario. I like to think that my coaching and my teaching and stuff like that should be teaching you guys to go forward in life, to look forward to life, to realize that life is happening for you, not to you, and to be an optimist, not a pessimist or a realist. Brian, what's a realist if you're here? Realist is a pessimist in disguise. It's funny too, that the more I'm doing this stuff too, the more I'm around. It's funny that some of my friends have really gotten into manifesting and stuff, and we were out at cigar night the other night, and topic came up of a realist, and one of my buddies goes, "Hey Nick, what's a realist?" I'm like, "Huh?" And it was just kind of caught me off guard. He goes, "It's a pessimist in disguise," and I was like, "Sounds familiar." Where'd you hear that? And that was a moment where I was able to sit back and take in that I have had an impact. Like, this guy is, he told me the other day, he was just learning manifesting and testing it out in terms of like getting women and stuff. He goes, I went from a 0 roster to like a full roster in like a month of like just what he's been binge watching the videos, the live streams, everything. So I appreciate you, brother. But that man's a testament of like how far you could go and how fast it could happen in 1 month. Went from 0 to a full roster. And it's like, to each their own. If that's what makes him happy, then continue it. God bless. Keep going. In terms of fitness, I've seen that guy like skyrocket up. He was bulked up, went through a cut, and now he's bulking back up again. Looks great. So shout out to him. And, anyone else keeping me updated, he's not here today. Usually he's always the first person here, but let me give a shout out to John West. John, you're always the first one in all the live streams, usually on Monday morning. So I'll give you a shout out. He just joined and signed up on Discord the other day and was telling us some success stories. He's doing a great job. Been around the channel for a long time, and I'm happy to see how far he's come. I had another client too. Give her a shout out. Ratasha, you're a big part of the channel. You're the one who stoked me to go back to posting the membership content, and you're still the member there. So still the sole member. So I appreciate you there, and you get a shout out in every one of those videos. And you're in the Discord. We worked together for a few sessions, and it's like just to see how far you've come in like a month or two. Like, I haven't heard an update yet, but as of the last time I talked to you, great SP movement, like back around fully, and everything you said, because it was unwavering. It's like when when you don't question the stuff and you just go forward with it, just like, you know what, let me just take it on faith, see how it is. You go far. So I'm proud of her too. I'm just right now. I'm just taking account of like everyone. I just got actually, I've mentioned this other client before. I don't know if he's here right now, but he was Rocky. I know you were here like a week or two ago in the live talking about your wedding. I will be there. I got the stuff today for it. Another one of my friends went through a really hard time. He taught me a lot about, breath work and stuff when I first met him. And he was there when I went through my panic attacks and he was going through a hard time. I was there for him. He's getting married too. So congratulations to him. Personal friend of mine. Friend of the show, as Tim Dillon would say. But those were just some recaps. Glizzy Gobbler, Manifesting Mandrill, you guys are always here. Mama Mystic, Nan, you're always here. You're always in Discord. I appreciate you. But very proud of all you guys and how far you've come. If you're not giving yourself account, if you're not taking account of yourself and giving yourself the credit, let me give it to you guys. But if you haven't done it yet, and I didn't call you out, sit down with a notebook, write down all the things that make you proud of yourself, and go forward with that. That's your homework until next Monday. And like I said, there's going to be videos up on the Manifesting membership channel, Mystic Manifesting channel. Check it out if you're interested. I believe it's I think it's $5 a month or something like that. If you want to sign up for Discord, that's $7 a month. If you want to, you don't have to. But it's fun. It's a good group of people. We have our weekly meetings. Don't sign up if you want to sign up for the meetings because they're only on Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. So if you can't make the time and that's the sole reason you're going, don't worry about it. If you want to see extra free content of me, you got Muscular Mystic. Check it out. Saturdays, we're going to do the Saturday sermons. So check it out. That'll be me more on the religious side. And always, I'm around. If you guys want to reach me, what's Kim Possible say? Want to reach me, beat me, whatever she says. Someone's been watching. Someone on my Amazon account's been watching Kim Possible. I wonder who that is. I saw it pop up today. It wasn't me. I watch other cartoons, but Kim Possible was a good show. Anyway, guys, if you want to reach me, mysticmanifesting@gmail.com, Flex_Lassiter on Instagram. Is it Nick Too Swole or something like that on Snapchat? Linktree is down below. Discord's down below. Coaching's down below. Everything you need to reach me, it's around. But as always, I love you guys very much. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you next Monday. If you sign up for the Discord, I'll see you Wednesday night. And with that, I love you very much. I'll see you next week.